guys, I'm Jessie of Crochet by Jessie and welcome to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make this really cute granny square bag. I have had so many people ask how I made this bag across TikTok and YouTube, so I thought I'd finally get a tutorial done for this. This bag is a must-have in your crochet wardrobe in my opinion. I think it's great for day trips, just the summer in general, and for holidays, so I cannot recommend it enough. This is actually the second time I've made this bag using these colours because two separate friends loved this bag so much that they both asked for literally the exact same item. For this tutorial you'll need a 3.5mm crochet hook, as well as a pair of scissors, though yours don't have to match to your hook as mine do. You'll also need to have two lots of different colours of cotton yarn if you want to have the same kind of effect that I have had. So I've chosen Cotton, which I purchased off of Amazon. And we're going to have two different layouts for our granny squares. We've got this one which has the brown taupe centre and blue outside, and then the blue centre and taupe outside. So I think it makes a really nice contrast working like this. To start your granny square, you're going to do a slip knot. And once you've done that, you're just going to put your hook into that loop, and then you're going to chain a total of 4 times to start. Once you've done that, you're going to do a slip stitch into that first chain, just to give yourself a loop that we'll be working in for that first round. We're then going to chain 3 times and double crochet once. And then after that you're going to chain another time and then double crochet. So the order for this is chain, double crochet, etc. You're going to want to have 12 double crochet by the end of this, but that first chain 3 that you did at the start, that counts as your first double crochet and chain, just because we want to get to the height for the start of the round. So you're going to repeat this process until you have those 12 double crochet, and then I will return when we are just about finishing up that first round. So here you'll see we have our 12 double crochet. Just to finish this round off, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 1 and then we're going to slip stitch into that chain 2 that we did right at the start. And that, once we have done it, is going to be the final bit for this round. So chain, cut your yarn and pull through, and then we'll start our next round in a second in the blue. For our second round, we're using that blue yarn and we're working into the chain spaces. So we'll attach our blue yarn to the project. For me, I do a chain, and then I'm going to do a further 2 chains and then a double crochet in that same chain space. And once that is done, you're going to do 1 chain and then you're going to work 2 double crochet into every single one of those chain spaces. So it will be 2 double crochet and then a chain, 2 double crochet and then a chain. You'll just repeat that process for the entirety of this round. This pattern is really fun because you could use as many as 4 colours per square, or you could just use 1 and have a textured effect. So I love that it's so easy, but you can have so many different results just using this same design.
Your love's what I need. Your love is what I need.
We've now finished our 12 clusters of 2 double crochet, so we're going to finish off in the same way. So we're going to chain 1 and then slip stitch into the top of the chain 2 that we did at the start, and then once we have done that, we're going to pull our yarn through an extra chain like this, cut your yarn off, and then we're going to go back to the taupey brown colour for the next round. Starting this third round, we're going to attach our yarn in the exact same way we did last time. So pull it through like this and chain 3 times, and then we're going to double crochet another 2 times in this space. So what you're going to be starting to see is a little bit of a trend. The first round we had 1 double crochet between the chain spaces. The second round we had 2 double crochet between the chain spaces. And this round, as you may have guessed it, we're doing 3 double crochet between each chain space. So we're going to have 12 clusters of these 3 double crochet clusters just going around for the entire of this third round.
Your love is what I need.
As I mentioned earlier, there are so many different colour combinations that you can do using this design. I've actually made a daisy bag myself with yellow in this first round, white in the second, green in the third and black for the background colour, and it worked up so nicely. So that just shows how many different kinds of projects you can make even using this granny square. Another benefit of this granny square is it works up so quick. So honestly, this is a really quick project in compared to other granny square bags. We've come to the end of round 3 and we're going to do what we always do and chain 1 and then slip stitch into that chain 2 space, and then your third round is complete. We're now on to the 4th and final round for this square, which is what's going to make it into a square. So if you chain 3 times just to start by attaching that blue cotton, and then we're going to do another 2 double crochet into the same space. So we're going to start out in a similar way to how we did round 3. We're going to do 1 chain and repeat that process again, so 3 double crochet into this space. So what is going to be different now is we're actually going to be working some trebles. So we're going to do 3 trebles, 3 chains, 3 trebles into the corners for this square. And the reason we're doing that is just because we're getting extra height because they are trebles, and that's why we're able to actually create our corners in our final round. So we'll see it's already starting to look a little bit of a crisper kind of corner, because up until now we've just been making a circle. So it's time for our granny square to actually look like a square. So now that we've just done our 3 chains, we're going to work the second lot of 3 trebles, and then our first corner will be done.
Your love is what I need. Your love is what I need.
Once we finish this first corner, we're going to chain 1 and then do our first lot of 3 double crochet into this space. And then once we've done that, we're going to do 1 chain and then we're going to work another 3 double crochet into the next space. And we're just going to be repeating this pattern. So after this second lot of 3 double crochet, we're then going to start to work our next corner. So we'll be doing our chain space and then we're going to be working in that next space and get that corner started. So 1 chain, and then we're going to do our 3 trebles, 3 chains, 3 trebles again, and we're just going to repeat this process for the entirety of this round.
Your love is what I need.
Just finishing up our 4th and final round, and you'll see our granny square is looking like a square. So we're going to do our final chain and then we're going to do a slip stitch into that chain 2 space at the start of the round, and then once we've tied that all off, it's going to be completely done. So we're going to do our final chain, we're going to snip that yarn and pull it through, and then our granny square is done. and we're going to need a total of 15 of these to get this bag done. Here are my squares. I have a total of 8 using this brown on the outside and then 7 using the blue on the outside. The next step is assembling our bag. So you'll see I've got my brown squares in the center and my blue across, so I'm doing it almost in rows, and I've actually got the outside of my bag on the inside, and the reason for that is we're going to be attaching the work and then turning it inside out, just because I feel like it ends up with a neater result. So you'll see the outside showing when we fold over these side pieces, so they're just going to be like this, and then what we're going to do is the ones that are going to be going on top, like the brown, you make sure you flip over and have the inside on the outside, and we'll just place them like this. And it just means that when we crochet the bag together, you're not going to have to worry about having any of those details on the outside. It will all be on the inside once you flip your work inside out. To make this process easier, I've actually used stitch markers to join the bag together. If you want to know how to do this, I have done this in 2 of my previous granny square bag tutorials, so check it out. It's a really easy process, but it just makes the final stages of this bag so much easier to me. So the next bit we're going to be doing is we're going to be crocheting all of these squares together. We're going to leave the top open because that is going to be the opening for the bag. But what we're going to do is we're going to single crochet the entirety of these squares together, just to make sure that there are no holes in the body of our bag. And this process will be probably the longest part of making this bag, but it is so worth it. And if you're like me and you are not particularly talented in the sewing department, this is just a really good way that you can join your bag together. You don't have to worry about your sewing. You don't have to worry about your sewing coming undone. It's just good old reliable crochet, and I think it works up very, very nicely. And because you know how to crochet and you know tension very well, it means that you're not going to end up having somewhat of a ruched kind of bag in certain areas where maybe your sewing would be tighter if you're not as experienced. This is definitely the slightly monotonous part of the design, but it's so worth it in the end. But for the purpose of this tutorial, because I spend a lot of time single crocheting these squares together, expect a montage of very, very quick footage coming shortly.
Love is what I need.
I am just working on attaching the last of my section of squares together. Once that is done, the entire body of this bag is going to be all attached, but I've still left the top bit open because we need that as the opening for the actual bag. So hopefully, if you guys are about the same point in your project as I am, you're going to be starting to see that it is looking really alike and the bag shape is now taking form very nicely. I I'm now done single crocheting the body of the bag together, and you'll see it looks so good on the inside. So we're going to turn it inside out, which is now technically the right way round, and you will see, just look out how crisp the squares look together. I feel like this is the bit in the project where I really feel like it's coming together, and it just looks so pretty. Now we're going to do a round of half double crochet, just going across the top of the bag like a trimming, and we're going to do a half double crochet, chain half double crochet just in that top space on each side of the bag. And then apart from that, we're going to be doing one half double crochet in each of the rest of the stitches, just going around the entire of the top of this bag. I think that this round of half double crochet at the top of the body of the bag really just helps finish off this piece. It's not something that you necessarily have to do, but I just think it looks really, really nice, especially because the colour of the strap for this bag is going to be in this blue. And I just think because we've got those two taupe brown squares just there, just going across the top, I think their colour sticks out a tiny little bit, and just having that blue going across the entire of the top of that final row, I think it just looks really, really nice when the piece is finished. Now that this round is done, it looks so nice with the bag. I'm so happy. We're going to work on our strap, which is the last thing to do, and it's going to be the top 9 stitches on either side. So it's going to be 9 stitches for the straps. And I've just put some stitch markers in, just because I think it's a little bit easier just to help you see which stitches you're working into, just so you don't accidentally mess up at all. These straps are nothing complicated. It is just a row of 9 half double crochet, and you just keep doing that for the entirety. So once you get to that end stitch, you're just going to chain 1, flip your work around, and just do the next 9 half double crochet. And the joy of this as well is you can choose how long you want your strap to be. If you want it to be a shoulder bag or a crossbody bag, or just one with a really small handle so you can just hold it as you're walking around, you can do whatever you'd like for this. Personally, I really like having this bag as a shoulder bag, so the strap is not long enough for a crossbody bag, but it's also a little bit longer than just being a handle. It sits really nicely on my shoulder, but then also there is still a really decent amount of room so it doesn't feel like it's tight on there at all. We're getting towards the end of the project. There is not much left to do. Right now it is just me checking every so often if I'm happy with the length of the strap, and I can say now already I'm really close to being done. and I'd be curious to see how you guys make your bags, whether or not you want to have a crossbody bag, a shoulder bag, or just more of a handbag kind of vibe with this design.
Your love's what I need. Your love is what I need.
I've now reached the desired length for my strap, so the last thing to do is to attach this second side onto the other side of the bag here. So all you have to do is either slip stitch or single crochet. I choose to single crochet, and you're just doing that to attach your strap together. Make sure that if you are doing your stitches like this, that they're on the inside of the bag, just because you don't want the kink of the stitches to be on the outside of the strap. And that is literally the last thing that we have to do for this design, and then the entire bag is going to be done.
Your love's what I need. Your love is what I need.
Here is my finished bag. Thank you guys so much for watching today's tutorial, and hopefully by this point you should have a bag similar to mine, but maybe in completely different colours to what I have worked with. So do let me know in the comments below what colours you made your really cute granny square tote bag, and yeah, and how you also found the tutorial. So thank you again for watching, and if you'd like to see more videos from me, then if you subscribe and click the bell to be notified when my next video is up. Bye!